Welcome to Sir Lancelot's Real Estate Roundtable, your guide to mastering the realm of real estate in Central East Florida. I am Sir Lancelot Lenard, ready to uncover the secrets of seller strategies, home staging, mortgage mastery, and more. From Daytona Beach to Cocoa Beach, Lake County to St. Augustine, join me as we navigate the intricacies of real estate. As the leader of the Sir Lancelot Group at Florida Homes Realty and Mortgage, I'm here to arm you with knowledge and innovation, whether you're a seasoned homeowner or a first-time buyer, unveiling the kingdom of real estate, one roundtable at a time. Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable, where we spotlight industry leaders who are doing more than just closing deals. They're changing the game, and no one embodies that better than Vinny Cordaro. Vinny is the powerhouse behind the Living in Orlando, Florida team at Keller Williams Elite Partners. Known for the client-first philosophy, transparent communication, and standout video marketing. Vinny has carved out a bold and authentic presence in the Central Florida market. If you've ever wondered how to build a brand that clients rave about, how to lead a team with purpose, or how to make content that actually converts, this is the episode you've been waiting for. Let's dive in. Vinny, welcome to the pod.
Wow. Well, thanks so much for having me. I would never describe myself with that introduction, so it's a good thing someone else said it. That's definitely not how I see myself, man. I'm just one blind beggar showing the other blind beggars how to buy a house.
Hey, Vinny, that's a good elevator pitch. Maybe you should keep that for you.
Sure, man. Absolutely, bro.
You know, that 5 minute that they teach you at Keller Williams, just get that 2 minute elevator pitch and figure that out if you take Ignite and Bold and all that. I have all of those, done those. So they emphasize that you need that 2 minute pitch. So if you meet somebody that you want to pitch why they should use you as a real estate agent, that's a pretty good one.
I'm not going to lie, bro. I actually skipped Ignite and Bold. They still give me a hard time about that, but I just wanted to hit the ground running, and I'm here to serve people, man.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, bro.
So tell me about it. What sparked your journey in real estate? What was the moment you knew this career was the one for you?
Yeah, so actually, it's not that exciting of a story. I was in a sales job, and I played a whole lot of pickleball. And my buddy Ed, shout out to Ed Leanne from Keller Williams, was like, "Hey, man, I think you'd probably be a good realtor." To which I was like, "That's cool. All right, next serve." And didn't really give it much thought. And then in the B2B business, I was doing sales for digital marketing. We took some steps back. And when the business takes steps back, my family still needs the same income to eat and pay for our stuff. So I was like, you know what, Ed, I'll give real estate a try. And got 4 contracts in my first month and was like, hey, I think I could do this. And jumped all in.
Yeah, that's awesome. Starting with 4 contracts.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And it was all open houses, and it was just back to back to back. Wow. And it was like, dude, I didn't know anything, but what I do know, and my background is ministry, and for me, I live to serve people. You ask anybody who knows me, and I tell them I'm not living for my resume, I'm living for my eulogy. And that's just how I operate in my life. So what I did know from the get-go is if I genuinely care about the person in front of me and they have a mission and I can be of help in that mission and make a couple of bucks along the way, great. And so that's just been my mindset from day one. And I guess people like that.
That is awesome. Yeah, that is a good way of thinking about it. Orlando's market is really fast moving and full of opportunity. How do you navigate the shifts and keep your clients ahead of the curve?
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. It depends on the client. And it also depends if they listen to you, man. So like right now when I'm doing CMAs for sellers and I'm like, listen, according to the comps, this is what your house is worth. But according to the market, we should price here. And they're like, but you said it's worth this. And I'm like, let me try again. So yes, totally. Right now we're in a shift in the market. If you don't have to sell or you don't really want to sell, totally. Let's overprice. Let's go at what you're really worth right now based on these recent comps. And let's sit on market for a year. And that's awesome because all your neighbors are going to see my face and phone number for a year. So that's a win for me. But if you actually need to sell this home, I promise you, I work with buyers too. I know what it's going to take to sell your house. This is where we need to be. The ones that listen to me, we sell quick. The ones that don't, we're still on market.
Of course.
Yeah. But again, it's also, I'm open and transparent. Like when I go to a listing appointment, okay, I don't bring any paperwork. I don't do the whole, can I name drop? Is that okay? Can I do that
Yeah,
on
of
this?
course, if you want.
All right. Yeah, so I don't do like the Grant Cardone or these other sales gurus where always be closing, always be closing. I think we live in a world where people are so over marketed to and they know you're doing that, that it's actually refreshing when I show up without the paperwork. So even if they go, oh, I'm ready to sign, I go, oh, when I get back to the office, I'll draw up the paperwork. They're like, wait, what? And I don't even bring my CMA on paper. I open up my laptop, I log into MLS, and I go, we're going to do a live CMA together because I want you to know I'm not manipulating. There's nothing special about me. I'm going to show you the same data I'm working with. So even if you don't want to work with me, some other smooth sales guy, realtor, isn't going to come in here and screw you over. So I genuinely, even if they don't work with me, I genuinely want people to be served well. And I think they deserve that.
That definitely, I cannot agree more with you on that. I do a pre CMA though because I like to see everything pre going there, just to make
Oh,
sure that we're looking at the right information here and the right data. But I tried that before, by the way, the live one. It just took so long, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pre-do it and then go over with them and then show them what's on
yeah.
the market right there, because that's easier, a little bit faster. Otherwise, you're
Well,
sitting there for 3 4 hours, and I'm like, okay, that's a long meeting. We need a lunch
dude,
break.
100%. No, you are 100% correct. And so, like, I make my admin crazy because it's so. How long are you going to be at that appointment? I don't know.
Exactly.
Uh, Now, I will admit to you, is there probably a better, more effective, more efficient way for me to do that? Yeah, I'm sure there is. And I'm sure one day I'll figure it out. But
You're building
what I'll,
rapport while you're there, which
yeah,
is the most important thing that you could do in today's world, is to get to know each other. Because a lot of people, as you said, like GC and all the other people are like sell and close, when you're not really building a rapport, you could look at it two ways in real estate, because this is someone's biggest purchase. And I think every successful real estate agent is looking at their clients first. So the way you're doing it, I think, is the right way. Maybe you could make it a little bit more efficient, probably, but it's the right way because you're getting to know them and know what they want and know how they want to get it done while you're there.
100%. And what I would also say is, as far as efficiency of time, here's my perspective. There's guys who they'll cold call all day, they'll door knock all day, they'll book, let's say, 3 to 4 appointments a day, and they'll convert one of those four, and they're cranking business out. Okay. That's great. If you've got like a 10 to 25% conversion rate, awesome. I'm like 99% conversion rate. So I'm not cranking out as many of those appointments, but everybody I sit down with works with me.
That's great.
So, like, I don't know what the trade off is there, but at the end of the day, God, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a jerk. I don't care about what the trade off is because my perspective is I'm going to put the person who's right in front of me, I'm going to put their needs first and come what may. And so far, I'm doing okay. I haven't missed any mortgage payments, haven't missed any meals. Like, I'm doing okay.
It's
So,
quality over quantity.
yeah.
That's what you're aiming for, which is a
Yeah.
business model. You'd rather have a few really good clients than have a ton of clients that you're like, I don't even want to work with these people sometimes. Because the way you're doing it, you get to know them and you could get to
Yes.
decide right there and then, is this a right fit for me? Like 2 hours in, and maybe these are not the right people. Maybe I'm not the right agent for them. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You could do
And
that if you know them. But if you don't
well,
know them, it's God, I got into this contract. Now I have to serve them the same way as I serve everybody else. But these people are really mean to me. And I really don't want to work with them the same way, but I have to because that's my inner self tells me to give them the same treatment as everybody else.
100%. It's just they're gonna pay extra for that. So, and I'm being straight with you. I
Yeah.
won't fire the client, but
Okay.
my price just went up by 2% because it's not me being a jerk. It's actually me being methodical in business, because the reality of it is this person I know is going to take up double my time.
So it's going to cost you twice as much to work with them. Yeah.
It's going to cost you twice as much.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to follow suit with my systems, but you still want me, it's going to have to cost double. Like, I can't take a pay cut because you're choosing to be difficult.
Correct. I like that idea. That's a good mentality of going into that. And they can decide yes or no still. I was like, hey,
Right.
I want to work with you, even if it cost me more to work with you, because I like the way you operate.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people say yes to that for you.
Yeah, I mean, it depends for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you see your market insights how do you use your market insights to educate buyers and sellers before they ever feel confused or overwhelmed?
Yeah. Again, it really depends on the customer. Like right now, all my buyers, I'm like, guys, now's the time. And I'll pull out data. And I'm like, hey, so let's see. Right now, the biggest price drops we're seeing in the country are in Arizona, second biggest in Florida. Florida, we're at 25% price drops. On top of that, we're all expecting a rate drop fairly soon. And so what's happening is, clearly I'm not the only one educating my buyers on this, because last week we saw a 9% increase in mortgage applications. So what happens? More and more buyers are coming to the market, and now the sellers are less desperate. And so now those price drops by 25 maybe become by 20 or 15, or who knows? The market is always correcting itself, right?
Yeah.
So I tell my buyers, I'm like, you'll never get pressure from me. But if the data I'm giving you gives you pressure, there's a reason for that. Now is the time to buy. Yesterday was the best time to buy. The day before yesterday was even better. And before that was even better. And really, if you could have come over here on the Mayflower, you'd be pretty right now. But the reality of it is, today is the best time to buy. That's it. Like, we're not going to see another 2008. That's not possible with all the overregulation now. But we also saw the average first-time home buyer go from 25 to 38. So that's also created new flows and nuances.
Think about this. We have 3 generations now into play.
Yeah.
So the next 10 years is going to be one of the most rewarding and difficult 10 years, I think, in real estate, because we got boomers downsizing, we got millennials buying, and we got Gen Z, I think, buying as well, that are coming out from the crypto. Whoop, we got money from crypto. Millennials, finally, I've made it. I am in my middle management position and I can afford a house because that's what I got raised at. And boomers are like, yes, we need to sell our giant house that we had raised our 10 kids in. You get what I'm saying? And they want to downsize. So that's going to be like a crazy 10 years coming up in real estate. And if the rates come down, it's going to be even more crazier, I think, for our buyers that are coming out of the woodwork, probably. It's just going to be a roller coaster again. And I always tell my buyers the same thing, same as you say. It's the best time to buy is when you're ready to buy. When you have the funds, you're qualified, go buy a house. Doesn't matter what the market is. Because if you're going to stay in that house for 7 years, if you're buying high, you're going to catch up. If you're buying low, yeah, you made more money. If the interest rate's high, you'll refinance when they go down. You can't tie yourself to like super market conditions if you're buying it for yourself. Now, if you're buying investment properties, that's a different question. You want to get in with making money up front. But if you're buying a house for yourself, when you're ready, you should go and buy a house. It doesn't matter what, because you're gonna appreciate throughout the years, and you're gonna make money with it. You're buying
100%.
Yeah. So, what current trends should buyers or investors keep their eyes on? What are you seeing in the Orlando market?
Yeah, it's tough to just say Orlando, because even though there's the stuff that I see in Orlando, but I think we have a joke around here in Orlando that nobody here is from here. Like, nobody.
It's like Florida joke.
Yeah, bro. The Orlando, I think, is an expedited but smaller version of what eventually we see 3 to 6 months later in the rest of the country, right? So I follow guys like Ricky Carruth
Yeah.
and Brandon Mulrennan and those guys. And they're picking up on trends that we've been seeing in Orlando already, which is, if as an investor, go get yourself some commercial real estate. Your 5 or mores are so cheap right now. Bro, I've got an investor who's got a DSCR loan that's a lower interest rate than a conventional.
Wow.
Like right now, he's got a 6.75 DSCR with only 20% down on an investment property. So if you're an investor, I'd be salivating in this current market right now for 5 or mores, for fourplexes, for anything commercial, industrial in the Orlando area. Dude, it's crazy. It's
Well,
because yeah, go ahead, sorry.
there's also a lot of seller financing out there now too.
Yes. Yeah, massive amounts of it. But, and again, seller financing, I'm a bigger fan of seller financing on the sell side than the buy side. I feel like the seller gets most of the leverage there. And I feel like because we have DSCR loans, if you got good credit and you got a little bit of money to put down, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of seller financing on the buy side unless you have to get creative.
So this is
Right?
what I saw. If you're buying commercial property, let's say a mechanic shop or a car lot, or I don't know, something that is like doing things, not just multifamily. Okay.
Yeah.
Seller financing helps a lot because you could establish that business in a couple of years, 2, 3 years. Let's say you do a 3 or 5 year balloon. You're paying interest only, so you get to save some money, and you put down your 10% if you don't have to put down 20, because you could come up with those terms with the seller. A lot of sellers will agree to a lower down payment at a bank. And then 2, 3 years down the road, you have established a business. It's working fine. It's making money. You can go to the bank and get a conventional commercial loan, and it's with way better terms than a DSCR or any other option out there. I think that is the route a lot of people are looking at. As I have 100K, the property's worth 600. I can't buy it cash. It's hard to get financing because it's like a unique kind of property or whatever. I haven't been in that business ever, but I want to start my business like that. And I know it's a good location. It will work. Can the seller do seller financing? And that's what comes up a lot now on my end, which is we have this listing in the land, and it's an old mechanic shop. It hasn't been operating for about a year now, but it's in a great location, big lot, fenced around, fire department next to it, all that stuff. Half the offers we got were seller finance offers. Hey, could you guys do seller financing? Could you guys do seller financing? We got one cash offer. That's what we're going with. But at the end of the day, we got a lot of seller financing offers.
Yeah.
And the seller was open to it. It's like, look, I'm 72. I don't want to hold it too long. But 3 years, I can hold it for 3 years, and then you can pay me a balloon in 3 years, and they can refinance it and do what they want to do with it. But that's what I've been noticing a lot. And you don't have to go through the hassles with the bank, and you don't get a credit pull. There's a lot of cool things that come up with seller financing that, holy cow, I'm still credible for a lot more, even though I have this mortgage, but it's a seller financing mortgage. It's not like your bank registered mortgage in a way. I think it's a phenomenal way to put your hands on property. Another thing, I don't know if you noticed, but when the boomers are starting to sell their businesses, and they sell with their properties, you could get them to finance it for you with a really low down, and you could get a business and a property, and you're like, holy cow, I'm like balling.
Oh, 100%. Listen, I'm with you 100%. And yes, that's the type of risk I'd be willing to take. I'm always trying to, and this is probably a fatal flaw of mine. I don't know. I probably care more than I should. Let me say that differently. Maybe I overstep my bounds a little bit. I try to mitigate as much risk as possible for my clients, right?
Mhm.
Whereas like on the sell side, there's zero risk in seller financing, because if it falls apart, you got to keep the down payment, you kept the payments, and you get to sell the property again. Woo! That's awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay. On the buy side, if they're like, yeah, I really want to get into this business, and now they're taking all the risk and things fall apart, and now you got foreclosed on and you lost that down payment and you lost those other payments, and now you're bankrupt. But I guess it's the same risk they'd be taking if they funded it conventionally too. So
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
man.
I think so.
Same
So
thing.
at the end of the day, you probably get a better deal if you do seller finance. We were offering probably better rates than the banks were, lower down payment, all that stuff. So it's like, okay, that's a good deal.
That's a
Like,
great deal.
instead of 20% down, you could come in with 15 or 10. We were getting rates as conventional loans are for residential single family homes. And the seller was okay with that. You're not getting 2% higher because you're a commercial deal. And a lot of sellers are okay with that. It's 6%, 7%. I was like, that's good. And we showed them the numbers. That's enough for me. And they're like, bank would do 9% or 10% because of the interest rates are high. But it's a high risk deal.
Yeah,
That's fine.
totally.
So you built your brand around consistent, transparent communication. What does that actually look like day to day?
Yeah. So much like in this conversation, I tend to overshare. I am the same person at home that I am at work, that I am with my friends, that I am with my family, that I am with my customers. And part of that is I'm more of a teacher than a sales guy. I firmly believe nobody should buy something unless they understand it. I get a lot of my principles from Dave Ramsey. Him and I disagree on a couple of things. I don't think you should ever completely pay off your mortgage. Why on earth would I take something that a bank is willing to carry 96.5% of the risk that's going to go up in value year over year? Why would I tie up all my money in that asset? But that's a whole other conversation. It's, dude, I don't want to sound like I'm trying to oversimplify this, but as a Christian, I believe in putting other people before myself. And I genuinely put their interests before my own. And I put myself in their shoes. If I was about to buy my first home and had no idea of this process, I would not want someone to say, sign this, sign that, apply for this, sign here, have a great day. I would want them to go, hey man, all right, so if you purchase, here's the benefits, here's the pros, here's the cons, right? If you're looking to sell in X amount of time, if this is not your forever home, here's what I would recommend. Here's the trends we're seeing in this neighborhood, whatever. I want to go above and beyond to make sure that at no point in time when they're living in this house, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 7 years, that they go, man, Vinny knew that and didn't tell me. Like, I never want any of my customers to ever think that. I want them 6 months in, a year in, 5 years in to be like, the more I learn about this area, the more I see what Vinny told me was right, and he had my back.
That's awesome, man. So, has there ever been a time where your follow up made a difference between a win or a loss?
Ooh, man, that's hard.
Like asking hard questions, by the way.
You're successful. All right. Let me think that through. So we're following up made it. Yeah, I would say I can't think of one specific scenario, but I think just in general, I think that's why I'm winning. Okay, I'll just give you a perfect example. As soon as I finished the show, the reason I'm in my car right now, by the way, it's just coming from a showing, right? As soon as I finished my showing, before I jumped on with you, I texted a kind of client. So he's not actually going to sell. He was thinking about it, decided not to. His sister-in-law might buy. But the point is, he's not a client now or anytime soon, more than likely. But he's going through some chemo treatment. He's fighting cancer. And so I texted him before jumping on with you just to say, hey, man, thought of you today, praying for you. Hope you beat this thing. And I've got, am I going to see business was that a business text? No. Truth be told, I'm sure, because he knows I genuinely care about him, that if he bumps into somebody in the supermarket and they need a realtor, he'll introduce them to me. But that's not my strategy. My strategy is I follow up because I genuinely care. I just closed on a new construction home, and my buyer, after we had not only 2 walkthroughs, but had the inspection and everything was good, she moves in and something happened with the pipe and she couldn't take a shower for a week. And I'm like, listen, legally, I can't represent you here. I'm like, but here's what you got to do. And I'm trying to hold her hand and have her back and offer all sorts of different ways to help. And I don't get paid more for that, but I genuinely care. So my following up is relational, not transactional. I don't know if that properly answers the question. I don't know. I think that makes my brand a win. even if it doesn't mean more transactions. Because I think you can't fake genuine care. People know if they're your meal ticket or they're your friend.
Correct.
So all my customers just become my friends.
That's a great way of doing real estate, by the way, my friend. I've been in it for 10 years, and that's the one thing that keeps you moving on and on. At a certain
Yeah.
point, I've invested a lot of money into marketing and get buying leads. And most of the clients that came through my door are now my friends. And I'm working on a lot of referral business. And you get to that 7 6 7 year mark in your career where it's consistently referral business. And you're like, okay, so my marketing went from $8,000 to $9,000 a month down to $2,000 a month. Now I'm only marketing listings, really, not just trying to get buyers. And that's what happens a lot in the business. And I think that's a great way of doing it, what you're saying.
Thanks.
Yeah, great mentality. For agents listening, what's one routine or tool they can adopt today to improve communication?
Dude, you're crushing me today, bro. I love it. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I know it's going to sound like okay, a tool. Gosh, I don't know if there's a tool. I get so like I don't really use my CRM
A
that
routine
well.
or a tool? A
Oh,
routine or a tool
routine.
that can improve communication.
Yeah, just get back to people quick. Like just do that. If you can answer instantly, that's awesome. But I tell people all the time. So like I've done some training at our local Keller Williams office, okay? And all the new agents, they'll shadow me at like open houses and stuff. And we'll have a conversation. And I'm like, listen, a big piece of advice I'm going to give you is if you can't answer people before 9 and after 5, you should probably go sell ice cream instead.
That's a
Because
good one.
bro,
Yeah.
because but for real though, it's get into the shoes of a customer. Like, were you a realtor already when you bought your first house?
Yes.
Okay, so unfair advantage. All right. But for like most people that they bought their first house and let's say they had a crappy realtor that didn't explain anything, that was like drowning. And then you're completely exposed because the lender wants to know your social. They want to see your bank account. They want to know why you went to Starbucks yesterday instead of work. Like, it's just crazy. And so if you don't have somebody who is in your corner and answering those questions right away, like I had a client call me last night at 10 o'clock where they're like, hey, I got documents to sign from the lender. Do I sign these? And I wasn't copied on the email. So I said, hey, bro, forward the email to me. I'll review the docs for you and make sure you're not being scammed or whatever. And they know they could call me 10 o'clock at night and I'm going to answer. I tell them if I am conscious and not with another customer, I will answer the phone. Now, that took my family some getting used to, bro. I've closed deals waiting online in Disney World.
Yeah.
Okay. And it takes getting used to. But you want to live a big life, you need to get outside of what you're normally used to. This is not a 9 to 5. Can I just quick shout out anybody watching this who's not a realtor who wants to become one? You're not necessarily having more free time, probably a lot less. And if you're in this for the money but not to serve people, you're going to be that statistic of that 9 to 10 that fail.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it, man. We're entrepreneurs, we're go-getters, and you need to care so much about your customers that you're willing to do what it takes for them.
Yeah. I've changed my mentality a little bit. I've been in the business for long enough, I guess, now. And I think it works too, by the way. If I tell my clients expectations, like I work between 8 and 8. So don't call me after 8, don't call me before 8. I'll answer all the phone calls, all the text messages, emails, whatever you send towards my way between 8 and 8. After 8, if I'm up and I feel like it, I'll answer it. But if I don't answer it, don't be mad at me because that's
Yeah.
time I'm spending with my family or my wife or something that I need to do. And then Sundays, I'm off Sundays. And I told them that. So look, if we're under contract and it's super urgent and it's something that cannot be left till the next day, I'll work on it for you on a Sunday. But if it's not one of those things, and there's not a lot of things like that are that urgent in real estate because banks are closed on weekends, Title companies are closed on weekends. The only thing that could actually be really urgent is that, let's say our inspection period is running out on Sunday, and that's the day that we have to respond with something. That's the only thing. So if you plan it ahead of time and you make it on Monday to answer back, you should be fine on having Sunday off. Sunday's a good review day for any buyer or seller to review documents and whatever for themselves, and then come back to you with all their questions and notes. Because that's how I try to teach my clients. Is like, if you read a document, take a notepad and write down all your questions about what's sticking out for you and what you wanted answered. And I'll be super happy. You could shoot that over in an email. I'll email it back to you with the answers, or we can get on a call or a Zoom call, or we can meet somewhere in a coffee shop or wherever, an office, and I'll be happy to answer all the questions. It's not really like the urgency thing about a Sunday. God gives one day of rest too. So we need one day of rest. After doing this, my best year, I did 48 deals. It was 2022. And in December, I was laying on the couch, and every time my phone rang, I was twitching, man. I was like, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah,
I was like, another phone call. I closed 48 deals. I probably worked with about 150 people that year, 150 families, all sorts of, from investors to everything else. And when you get to the point, it's like, okay, I'm overwhelmed in my brain. I do not want to answer my phone anymore because it's heavy on you. You come up with a way to make that not happen again. That's when I decided that I'm going to take one day off a week. That is just for my family that we could spend together. We'll go to the water park or whatever. We're in Florida, so we have a lot of things at the beach, whatever. Or I could mow the lawn without having to answer phones all the time. Or anything like that. And I'm not going to answer my phone before 8 and after 8. That's still a 12-hour freaking window. If that's not enough for someone to get a hold of me, come on. And I know California people, they like to call us in the middle of the night because it's 3 hours earlier there. And it's, oh, you're just getting out of work. Great for you. It's 11 p.m. over here already. I'm like I'm not even watching TV. I'm like halfway asleep already in my bed. But you didn't answer the phone. And I'm like, look, man, you gotta get boundaries. Here, I'm working on the sale of your house. Are you looking at me as a piece of meat? Should I look at you as a piece of meat too? Like, I treat you with the utmost respect, but that should be vice versa.
100%. So let me give a little bit better context there too.
Yeah.
The reason I haven't had to have those boundary conversations, I think, is directly connected to the fact that from day one, it's relationship first, not transaction first. So I don't think they just see me as their realtor. They see me as their buddy Vinny, who's helping them buy a house.
So they respect your time then.
Quite honestly, I've only had one customer who I would say did not respect my time and threatened to sue me. And not only did I make it work out in the end, but he's already referred me a client. So
turn it around on him.
Yeah, bro. I ninja'd my way out of that one. It cost me $4,000 to ninja my way out of that one, but I made it back on the first referral. It's all good. But yeah, so other than that, if I haven't really had anybody where I've had to say, dude, chill. Like, just one guy, just one. Yeah. And ultimately we closed on his house. And he's probably the only client I don't talk to on a somewhat regular basis. That's by his choice, though.
Oh, he doesn't answer.
Yeah, but it's all good, man. It is what it is.
Look, we all have these stories, and I think it's incredible that the more deals you do, the more stories you have, of course, the more interesting people you work with. I have some really interesting people that I worked with. But I could also say this. I had such relaxed relationships with some of my customers. I closed my largest ever sale in shorts and a polo, and it was over $6 million. So can you do that in any other business? Literally, we were out there on the dock talking. Yeah, let's make an offer on. You're like in shorts and a polo. Yeah, we're talking about $6 million here. We're not talking about some chump change. Like, that's a big number.
Yeah, bro. It's funny you say that. It's so funny you say that, because right now, my largest deal I've done that I've actually closed is 735, and those clients are basically family. And in fact, we're getting together next week just to grab a meal. But I've got a client who he bought with me last year for $585, something like that. cash out in Clermont. Okay. And just a regular dude, like him and his wife, like we're going to be getting together actually pretty soon, grab some wings, hang out. They were being flip-flops and shorts. And I always dress like this no matter what. But you would never know. Just a chill dude, doesn't take himself too seriously. Is right now his house in Sarasota took some damage from the hurricane. He's getting it fixed up. That's part of why he moved to Clermont. And then he wants me to sell that house, and we're going to 1031 into a bunch of investment properties. That's going to be a $7.5 million listing. He owes nothing on it. And we're going to be 1031ing into 60 different $400,000 properties so he can be diversified. And just like you would never think this guy is that client. And like we just hit it off and get along and just a regular good old boy.
Yeah.
So
Blue Jean Millionaire. That's how I call them. That as an avatar is a person that is super down to earth. You like to hang out with them. You could have a beer or coffee or whatever, and you could have a nice conversation with them. They know what's going on in the world. They're not delusional or anything like that. They have their values straight. Usually family men with some kids and the wife or a few kids. That's actually my avatar. Just so you know, the person that I always try to work with is a person like that, is because they're just so normal. Like you can talk to them and you can learn a lot. And that's,
oh yeah,
I always try to surround myself with people that are smarter, better, higher achievers or anything like that than me, so I can get some more of that rubbed off on me in a way. And that's a great person to talk to and hang out with, by the way. So getting a meal with a person like that is always good because they'll give you such insights to things that you're like, wow, yeah, maybe I should be doing that. Good luck on, by the way, good luck on nominating, I don't know, 40 units. That's going to be tough on a 1031. You have to you do your pre-market research for the purchase. Maybe you need some multifamily in there too. I think I would put a
yep.
two multi in the mix there.
I've
It's
already
tough.
started that process.
It's tough to do. You're like, oh, you have 30 days to, and it's what, $7 million, and you're looking at $400,000 homes. That's 10, 20 homes almost. So yeah, that's a tough cookie to nominate all.
That's I'm always bringing in a 1031 company to
Oh, they help. Yeah.
with that. Yeah, they're worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
The price for what they do, 100%.
Awesome.
Absolutely worth it.
So let's get back to our conversation about you. Your video content and online presence are next level. How did that start and how has it transformed your business?
So I'm going to say thank you, but I probably disagree. I don't think my content is next level. I think it can be. So I'm doing video editing for 20 plus years, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I put off doing it for myself for a long time because I knew the time and energy it takes to do it right. And quite honestly, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it at about 25% of what it could be so I could actually put something out there. Right. I'm uber critical of my content. I think it's kind of garbage, to be honest with you. Just again, like that's my background, right? So I've got the whole Adobe suite. And I tell people this: if you gave me all of the like green screen footage from the Avengers movies and you gave me just unlimited time, I could recreate them like completely. Like I could do all the special effects and all that stuff. I just don't have time to do it. So if I was able to not be in production and just have all my agents be in production and I could just be the rainmaker, lead generator, content creator, then yeah, then we could have some pretty awesome content. But I'll say thank you.
I can't believe that we've been editing videos for so long. I did my own editing for a while, and then I was like, nah, it just takes too long, and I can't afford to do it myself. So I hire people to do it for me now, and you can find some really good editors for really good price across the pond, more like Pakistan and India and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's some good editors over there that will do it for a great value. Like an American editor, I had a crew that did the videos and editing for me, and God, that cost a lot of money. And I was like, okay, so I only need the footage now. So just do the footage. Give me the footage. I got the footage and I sent it over, and the editing cost me probably 10% of what it would have cost me for them to edit it. And I'm like, okay, so now we're in the ballpark of $200-$300 for a video instead of 1,000 to 1,500 for a video. And I'm like, I'm not even sure we're going to sell this thing. And we're spending $1,500 on a video. It's not worth it at that point. Yeah. Unless you're like looking at $7-10 million listing that they signed an agreement with you for 2 years or 3 years, but it's going to sell in a few years. So next question, what's your content planning process like?
Yeah. So what I was going to tell you too, just to add on to this last thing is, so in recent days, so my last couple of videos, I have taken that approach. So I'm actually working on a quick shout out, Anthony Bua from Shutter House Imaging. So he primarily does like listing photos and videos, but he's a buddy. And so he's come alongside and he's been doing some of my editing recently to give me a little bit more free time. So
Yeah.
we're getting better, and it's something that's been taken off my hands. Being straight with you, bro, you're probably not going to this answer.
You don't
But
plan at all. You just go and shoot.
Yes, correct. Actually, the extent of my plan is I'm trying to not take up a ton of time from the people helping me. So I'll tell Anthony, hey, I'd like to crank out as many videos as we can in one place without having to do 1,000 video shoots. We just did 9 video shoots in one day in one place with Zoe Williams at Meritage Homes in Silverleaf in Horizon West. Okay. We were there all day and videoed 9 different floor plans with it. I had my team do the content, so it wasn't just me. It's not the Vinny show, but I've got other agents on my team that are part of the content as well. But as far as the plan goes, if it's one of my listings, I'll tell Anthony, all right, bro, I'm not going to plan this at all. Just follow me and I'll take you on a tour. And we've got pretty good chemistry that he knows what I'm going to do next. And then when we finish the tour, he'll go in and do B-roll without me afterwards. I'll grab the drone while he's doing B-roll and I'll get drone footage outside and of the neighborhood and the amenities and that kind of stuff. And then we just both upload everything onto Google Drive and he does the editing. So I'm trying to cut down, I'm trying to respect his time, man. And again, my personal goal is to give more than I get out of every relationship I have. So I don't want to take advantage of my camera guy's generosity for him coming out for the day and doing that. So but as far as the content itself, I picked Silverleaf because in this market, Horizon West and Clermont are booming, even when a lot of other places are slowing down. So I picked a new construction with an agent that I have a good relationship with and was like, great, let's push some of those properties, show some new construction. I've got a playlist called I Got a Guy for that I want to spend more time doing, but I'm trying to promote the vendors I work with. So I've done I Got a Guy for that all about mortgages with Joe Jameson, and we'll sit down and it's just interview, like conversation style. I've done I Got a Guy for that. Here's what a live inspection is like. And I literally went live for an entire 3-hour inspection and asked Kayvon questions the entire time, annoyed the crap out of him, but he loved it. It's fine. But it's about educating the consumer. So as far as the plan goes, I just think, what do I think people want to know? And then we just roll. I script nothing. In fact, a lot of the people on my team have never done content and they're nervous. And I'm like, hey, I get it. I'm going to hold your hand. We'll do it together. But we're not scripters. We are organic, who we are. And I know, dude, so many people are going to push back and be like, you could script and still be organic. Totally. But I've got like ADHD and can't do that. This is just raw Vinny 24/7.
That's pretty good. It's good advice.
No.
What advice would you give an agent who's just starting or a new agent and is scared about this to hit record? What advice would you give them?
For content?
What advice would you give an agent who's scared to hit record to get more courage?
Yeah. So do it scared.
Do it scared.
There is nothing easy worth doing.
Yeah.
If you're not scared, you're either a sociopath or not challenging yourself.
That is so true, man. I was so scared when I started doing the videos. I can't even believe. I was like, it took me 3 months to get myself. I had bought the drone. I bought the cameras. I bought the microphones. I brought everything. I had the gear. I need to get more gear.
Yeah,
Comparing yourself to that moment. It's time to get in camera. You have all the gear. And you're like mumbling and trying to come up with words. And you're like, oh, I could have done that better. But the good thing about a camera is, guys, and Vinny knows this too, you can re-record. If the first
yeah,
one doesn't come through like you want it to come through, just go at it again. Try it
yeah,
naturally. Just go at it as many times as you can, and it will become natural. Like we're talking right now here in this podcast. My first episode, I didn't know what I was doing, man. And
yeah,
now we're
dude.
having such a good conversation with every single person that I have on the pod. It's just so different.
But you know what? All right. So check this out. Here's some even more advice for them. Okay.
Okay.
You hit record, you trip on your words, you think I just sounded like an idiot. That's the one you need to put out there because like I said, this is the most over marketed to generation right now. Genuine, real, organic, transparent humanity coming through is the new perfect video. People are so tired of the BS and the fluff and the fake. Like people are starving for real right now. We want our heroes to bleed just like us, right? That's what we want. And I'm committed to like, all right, listen, there is, dude, I don't even know if I should say this. All right. I'll leave it up to you what you want to do with what I'm about to say. All right. So I've got a buddy who did the video editing for an incredibly viral video for a big name in our area, Realtor, who is known for YouTube. Right. And when they created this particular video that has, I think, 100 million views, which is still the most views on this guy's channel. Okay. This editor was like, dude, so like the number of edits that we had to make because he wouldn't approve this and this because it had to be perfect. And he said to me, when I was fairly new, I was talking to this guy. And he said to me, dude, if there's one piece of advice I could give you, don't be the guy that takes yourself too seriously and it has to be perfect and you've got to crush it and you got to look awesome. Be you and let the chips fall how they will. And he's right. I agree. Now, does that mean I probably will never get the 10 and $20 million listing in Isleworth or Keens Point? From the people that are dressing like it's the Gilded Age, yeah, they're probably not going to want to work with me. But your blue jean billionaire is going to freaking love me because I say it how it is. I care deeply and I care more about the relationship than the transaction. That if you don't communicate that through your social media and through YouTube and through your content, you're wasting your time. If they just want the most perfect content creators, there's basically 5 or 6 agents they could choose from in all of Orlando. And guess what? Those guys are going to charge you a whole lot more than we are because they've got all that overhead. Yeah, just be you. And if you're scared, do it scared. And if you don't like how you look, dude, I hate looking at my videos and seeing my triple chin, right? And it's at one point I was losing a ton of weight but I was going to the gym consistently. And right now I eat keto, but I haven't had time to go to the gym because I'm just real estate. So I could not film content until I lose 50 pounds.
I had that obsession for in the beginning too. It's like I gotta look better. I gotta look better. So I've been going to the gym every morning for the past 3 years, man.
You look great, by the way.
Thanks. It's TRT. I'm not gonna lie, testosterone was low, so I got on TRT. It helps a lot, by the way, with a lot of energy and getting up in the morning, going to the gym, rested, all that stuff. It's true. Testosterone starts dipping when you're 30, and mine was like I would if I would be 60. It's
Yeah.
probably a lot of stress, eating wrong, all that stuff. They all stack up on top of each other, and then. But now it's all good. We're all solid. Really good workouts in the gym. But yeah, I had the same thing, man. I had the same thing. It's like I gotta look better. Gotta lose some weight. I get those compliments when I still have a couple of my older pictures up on my site and stuff, and they're like, they meet me like, you look way better than your pictures. I'm like, Yes, I achieved it. Finally, I looked younger than I looked a year ago.
That's awesome, dude.
But yeah, it's just getting down there. And this is another thing about that 8 to 8 is you got to prioritize your health and your surroundings to be able to achieve that amazing service to your clients. Because if you're not giving yourself the same treatment that you want to give to your clients, they're not going to get that same treatment. So always focus on I think you have to focus on you getting better all the time. It's the same with coaching, getting coaching, giving coaching, and all that stuff. You're always growing. It's the same with your physical. And for me, it's like going down to church, basically, for people that go to church all the time. For me, it's like going down to church because I go there, focus, put my head earbuds in, and I'm in my head and I'm focusing on getting into a better state of mind so I could go out and crush it and help other people. Like the best possible way I can. And that's the same thing. Like if I'm in good physical shape, I had clients, veteran clients, older, selling their house. We went and cleaned the house for them, me and my wife, because they couldn't get on top of a chair to clean the fans. They couldn't get a bunch of things. So we went over there and helped them clean the house for the listing. And that's something that you don't see a lot of agents that wear suits and sell $1 million homes going in there and getting on their knees and scrubbing floors and doing stuff like that. We do that because I think that they deserve that. A lot of people would look at it a different way. As no, I'll come here and help you clean out because you guys are nice people.
Dude, you're my tribe, bro. You're 100%. Like that is my mindset. That is, I had a VA deal I was representing on the buy side, and we already negotiated new HVAC, new roof, and it was like the seller was like, "All right, no more." And then there was like a piece of the wood floor missing, and it was like, "Yeah, deal's gonna fall apart over wood floor because the VA inspection, right?" So I'm like, "Don't worry about it. I got it." I show up at the house. It's supposed to be vacant. Nobody was supposed to be there. I show up at the house, shorts, t-shirt, tool belt. I'm fixing the floor.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I hear someone go, "Hello?" And I'm like, "Oh no."
Oh no.
It was the seller.
Yeah.
She's, "Aren't you like the realtor?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, I take care of my people. She's, "You're crazy." Well, dude, so talking to you, I'm like, yes, this is what it takes. That's the mindset.
Yeah.
And again, it's not the mindset of, "Oh, if I don't do this, I'm not going to get paid." No, there's so much business out there, bro, that if a deal falls apart over a floor, I could have found my buyers another home. Who cares? But my buyers loved that house and wanted that house. So my buyers, if the VA inspection is going to give them a hard time over the wood floor and the seller's not going to play anymore, I'm going to go in there and make my buyers happy. That's it.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's a small little repair. On that same deal, the other agent was a veteran himself. We had because we already same deal. Replaced the roof. We had that done and dropped the price by X for the other person so they can get in. We paid off most of the solar panels on the house. It was a couple years old, man. So they still owed a pretty big nugget on that. So I think we paid off like 18,000 of the solar panels. The roof was 15,000. So it was a lot of moving parts. And then they got the inspection and they found some wood rot. Guess what the other agent did? We cleaned the place. We got everything else sorted. The other agent came out and fixed the wood like you did for the clients so they can get into the house. And I said, dude, man, kudos. I don't see a lot of agents doing that. I'm a veteran myself. I know you have veteran clients, and the new buyer was a veteran too. So it was a lot of veterans going on there. And it was like, we're just helping each other out. And I said that this is camaraderie in a different level because they're totally different generations and like 3 different generations of veterans. And I'm like, wow, helping each other out. It's an important thing, I think, in today's world.
Dude, I love it. That's stuff like that is how we get our country back to what it used to be. Like, I'll avoid politics, but the amount of division is just like selfishness, lost our way, lost our faith in God, lost our care of one another. Like that right there that's it, man. Even if someone thinks they're buying a house and they're actually restoring faith in humanity in a little bit, just how that stuff comes together. And dude, listen, unapologetically, I'll tell you, I was in ministry before I was in real estate and digital marketing and all that. And I've had more opportunities to care for people who are far from God in real estate than I ever did when I was a pastor. Because let's be honest, most churches, people are wearing a mask and not really letting out what they're really dealing with. But in the stress of buying and selling a home, man, I've embraced people in tears and been able to give them hope and encouragement and be there for them through tough times where they're most vulnerable.
Yeah, that's amazing. I have one more question for you, my friend.
Yeah,
How do you
go.
coach others to be real without losing their professionalism? How do you coach others to be real without losing their professionalism?
I don't
Your
know
team.
if yeah, I don't really find myself coaching them on that specifically. I almost would rather err on the side of coming across more as a friend than anything. So when you say I'm professional, I think what you mean is that too comfortable, right? Is that what you mean by that?
Oh, professional is as in you take your business seriously, you do everything. It's like by the book kind of thing. Like we follow the rules and
Yeah.
you dress good. You're always wearing a shirt. That's a professional thing. Things like that in nature. So
Yeah.
how would you coach your people to be loose and professional at the same time?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the
So
question.
I would say it's good to be loose and letting them see who you really are on a personal level. When it comes to anything real estate related, you need to handle yourself like a professional. So I'll hug a client, I'll high five them, we'll make jokes, we'll laugh while we're looking around the house. And then I will switch gears as soon as it's all right. So let's talk about the offer. Here's the strategy. Here's the options. Here's what I'm thinking. It's just flipping of a switch. I'm the same guy, but now I'm talking to you as an expert guiding you rather than just as your buddy. But you need both of those. Ryan Serhant, so he says, nobody, I'm going to screw this up. Sorry, Ryan, if you watch this one day. I don't know.
One day,
One day.
please subscribe to my channel one day.
Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. But Ryan's, yeah, nobody likes dealing with salespeople. Nobody likes being sold, but everybody likes shopping with friends. And he's right. And that's been my philosophy from day one, even before I heard him say that, is I go shopping with friends. And then when it's time for me to put on the hat of I'm the expert, you need to listen, then I flip a switch. And I don't know how to put that on paper or coach somebody outside of them just shadowing me and watching it. If you don't have high emotional intelligence in this business, you're going to struggle. You got to know, you got to be able to read. You got to be able to know if somebody's body language says I'm comfortable, I'm not. You've got to figure all that kind of stuff out. And that's just something you picked the right word with coach. Because it's you've got to walk through it with them. You can't write a training manual on that. It's just something people have to experience and get good at. And if they can't figure it out, if they can't pick up the intangibles, they're going to struggle in this industry.
That's for sure. So Vinny isn't just selling homes. He's redefining what it means to serve. With every transaction, every video, and every conversation, he's proving that leadership in real estate isn't about volume, it's about value. If you want to learn more or get in touch with Vinny, you can reach him at Vinny at livinginorlandorl.com or call him at 631-834-0816. And don't forget to check out his content at Living in Orlando, Florida. You see firsthand how trust and transparency drive results. Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Roundtable. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, drop a review, and share it with a fellow agent. Until next time, keep learning and keep closing deals. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for joining us on Sir Lancelot's Real Estate Roundtable, where we've unveiled the mysteries of real estate together. Remember, in this kingdom of possibilities, every dream home is just a discussion away. I can help your real estate dreams come true. Just call me at 786-449-7518. Until our next roundtable, may your ventures be prosperous and your homes be filled with love and joy. Farewell, fellow knights of real estate.